embodying the trine of spirit placed upon the cross of matter, is a fitting symbol for the workings of the physical body. It is the power of this number which celestial hierarchies have employed most frequently in constructing the marvels of the human body. Physiology enumerates the 7 chief processes of bodybuilding as follows: cell multiplication and new cell growth, infolding and outfolding of various cell complexes, regional thickenings and thinnings, special changes in groups of cells, cell migrations or rearrangements, splitting or fusion of cell groups, occasional reabsorption of certain areas or parts. Furthermore, a cell is a cosmos in miniature. Can you grasp that? One cell is as vast as the cosmos themselves. And the cosmos have billions of galaxies, billions of solar systems, you see, and planets functioning inside of it. And the rule is that everything, that the cosmos are regulated by a system of order and harmony. And everything that lives within the cosmos must comply with that order, or chaos will be the result. So we cause chaos inside our cells by simply not knowing that they are cosmos. Because you see, about not putting the right thing in our bodies. Because we can put the wrong thing in our body and cause chaos inside our cells and don't know it. And then we call it what? Indigestion or something like that, you know. But the reality is that we don't know that the cell is really the cosmos. With 7 principles or spiritual correspondences. The outer cell wall corresponds to the physical body. The inner lining, vita line, or zona pellucida, appearing as an encircling light, corresponds to the vital body. What is zona pellucida? Anybody know? What does that mean? Zona pellucida? What that mean? Anybody ever heard that word before? Zona, Z-O-N-A, P-E-L-L-U-C-I-D-A. What do you think that means? Yes. No, hold on. Hold on. You hold on. Let's see if somebody else knows. What is zona pellucida? Yes, brother.
I said the cytoplasm inside of the cell that holds the different organelles and the different, you know.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. You're absolutely right. With one slight exception. One slight exception, and that slight exception is this. It's the original cell, not just a cell. You see. In other words, it got the original blueprint that all other cells must emulate. You see. You see. And that's what we want to become acquainted with, is the zona pellucida, the original cell in the body. Because it tells all of the other cells, it gives instruction to all the other cells how they are to replicate themselves, you see, as appearing as an encircling light. You see, it appears as an encircling. In other words, it's going throughout the body, checking everything, making sure that every cell replicates itself accordingly. Huh? Yes.
And it checks all those cells?
Yes, yes.
All of those trillions of cells?
Huh?
It checks all of those trillions?
Yes, yes. Well, they have a system. It's not just one light, but it is one commander, so to speak, that has units of cells who go throughout the body to follow instructions. Like you have what is called traffic cops inside the body. But most people don't know that. You have traffic cops that be regulating the activity of enzymes that's coming into the body. You see, and whenever a certain group like the pancreas or the lungs or what have you, get a sufficient quantity of enzyme, they stop enzymes from going to that area. And so you hold it there and come on over here. You see, we need some here, we need some there. It's all regulated. But we're not that acquainted with our body to realize that there's a whole solar system inside our body, and the enzymes and energy is being regulated by what they call a traffic cop. Who's the traffic cop in the body? We talked about it.
Not the hypothalamus.
Not the hypothalamus? The hypothalamus is a big fella, yes he is. Rooted in parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. Yeah, he's a big fella. But even the hypothalamus got to get its energy from somewhere. Got to get its instruction from somebody. And those instructions come from...
I can't think of where it's in your stomach.
Oh, you're talking about the solar plexus on the abdominal brain. You're absolutely right, you're absolutely right. But what inside the solar plexus, the abdominal brain, that actually serve as the traffic cop, that would be carbon, sisters and brothers. Carbon. Carbon, because anything living that goes into the body, it has to be carbon, you see. Because carbon is the only chemical that can serve as a master link, so to speak, for other things to grow. If you know what I'm saying, if you want to hook something else together, hook up another type of enzymes to it, well then you have to have carbon there in order for the connection to go down. If there is no carbon, with those enzymes can't connect with those enzymes. That is different from it unless there is a carbon connection. You see. So, but we usually expound on the carbon connection in January or in the latter part of December when we start talking about the winter solstice and start talking about Capricorn. You see, because that's Capricorn's color, carbon black. All the way, jet black, all the way, all the way, all the way. Okay, the protoplasm corresponds to the desire body. Individual granules of the vitelline corresponds to the lower mind. Spaces left by withdrawals of protoplasm corresponds to the higher mind. Nucleus represents the spiritualized consciousness. Spiritualized consciousness is the nucleus of the cell. See, in other words, that's where instructions are coming from, the nucleus of the cell. It's all coming from there, you see. But most people, in the spiritual life, but most people are not that in debt with themselves. They don't get all on the inside of their body. They don't get on the inside of the cell. But that's why you have to have a proper diet. You have to have a dietary lifestyle that will enable you to make sure that you give your body what it needs so it can function and serve you best. It's one thing about the body, it's a poor servant. I mean, it's a poor master, but it's a good servant. You see. You know, it'll take care of you, but you can't let it be in charge, because if you let it be in charge, it never knows when it get enough. The body never knows when it get enough. All it knows is it likes it. Keep it covered. This is why I said before, we are addicts, you see, creatures of habit. The nuclei represents the spirit fire. Madame Blavatsky says that 7 is a word. Who is Madame Blavatsky? Anybody know? Who is she?
Well, she is from Russia. She wrote The Secret Doctrine.
Yes, she did.
ISIS Unveiled.
ISIS Unveiled.
Theosophical Society.
Theosophical Society. All right, all right.
We use that symbol of the swastika backwards.
Yeah. Well, you familiar with her. You know her. She's really the high priestess of occultism. Love that person. You want to know about occult? Read about Madame Helena Blavatsky. She has a book out also called The Secret Doctrine. You familiar with it?
That's what I said. Secret Doctrine and ISIS Unveiled. Those are 2 of her major works.
Right. What does the Secret Doctrine contain?
Everything, just about.
No.
There's 2 big volumes. There's 2 volumes.
Right. 2 volumes. What are those 2 volumes?
Well, I think they're based on the exposition of this book called Diane, this smaller book, but these are the masters that transmitted Kuthumi and Maria.
Right. Okay, you quoted the masters there. Yeah. Kuthumi and Master Moya. But anyway, those 2 volumes in that book, the Secret Doctrine, is entitled Cosmogenesis and Anthropogenesis. Right. You see. And she breaks all of this down so it can make some sense to you. What is she saying here? That she says that the 7 is a word for students and a query to the profane. Why, she asks, should there be such a strange repetition of the number 7 in the anatomical structure of man? She asked the question that most of us should be asking. Why are there 7 holes in our face instead of 6 or 9? You see. To go on. She said, why should the heart have 4 lower cavities and 3 higher divisions, answering so aptly to the septenary human principle separated into 2 groups, the higher and the lower? Why do the 7 nervous plexuses of the body radiate 7 rays? And why 7 distinct layers in the human skin? Most people don't even think about this. It's not important. We just trying to pay light, gas, and rent. You know, we just trying to make it. We ain't got time to be dealing with all of that. But the point is, we have got to get healthy. We can't deal with our personal affairs like we really want to unless we are healthy. Because if you're sick, you can't do it. You can't think. You can't make decisions. You see. But when you talk about Libra, you're actually talking about what organ? What part of the body?
Kidneys.
The kidneys. The kidneys. And the kidneys does what?
It filters.
It filters.
Impurities out of the blood.
Right. The kidneys is a net, sisters and brothers. It's a filtering net that catches all of the fluids inside the body and makes sure that it provides clean, pure blood, you see. And the rest of it is liquids that are eliminated through the bladder and the urinary tract. This may check with the shape of this organ, but I believe that it really has the same source as the word kittle, which comes from kudul, a Greek term, and it means a net. The word kidnap means to seize and detain, which synthesizes with the word net, used to gather in anything. This seems to be a satisfactory analysis of the word, especially when employed in an anatomical sense. For it is true that the kidneys consist of a mass of tubules, small tubules or pipes. In other words, they constitute a network which collects and then discharges the secretion, the urine, into the main cavity of the kidneys. From thence it is conveyed through the long tube or urethra to the bladder, from which it is discharged. The analogy of net is indeed a correct one as applied to this organ. It is really a filter. So Libra, by way of the kidneys and the bladder and the urinary tract, keeps the body balanced. Keeps a balance between pure and impurities. You see, it keeps that balance. Libra governs purity. Libra governs purity.